BMW, INNING, and this AMG. I bent the knee. Forgive me for my sins, I move gracefully. Don't ask her what she want to eat. She probably got a taste for me. My kids hoverboard to the dining room, living spaciously. 30 ball heads in the chopper that major pain in me. As a youth, it's stuck in my locker. You couldn't hang with me. You ever befriended a crackhead? It was so many around that you end up serving one of your friends. You ever was in dire need of bread? You made it Jalen Hurts play, got scared that you probably done served the Fed. I'm careful with the purchase, like buying cartons of eggs. I'm so close to the edge, I got no room for my legs. We just stuck in the matrix, the way that the spoon bends. If you stuck in my playlist, guaranteed you grew some ends. They call me antisocial, I just don't need no new friends. Yeah, we went through leaks.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I'm the best reporting on the Eagles. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, I gotta let you know that this video was brought to you by Print Champs. Big Print Champs in the building, man. Get all your Hurt Season hats, your ski mask, Howie shirts, everything, man. A slew of creators have now signed up with Print Champs, and you can see all their merchandise stores there, man. Use code BULLETON at checkout and get yourself something real nice. Let's talk about it. So also, yes, I'm back. I'm in talks with doing something with Philly Sports Trips for the upcoming season. I will be promoting a few tailgates, a few of their trips. I will be there, so you know we're gonna get back on board with that too. Listen, the season is coming, so we're gonna do our due diligence. And yeah, let's talk about it. So a lot of things been going on, kinda. You know what I mean? First, I want to acknowledge that I just think, you know, from the clips that I've been seeing that the Philadelphia Eagles have been releasing, I really feel like, you know, I'm liking the throw motion more and more of Jalen Hurts. I'm impressed, man, with the overall, you know, just the development, man. He continues to look better. He continues to look more confident. I mean, this is a guy that just played in the Super Bowl a couple months ago, and he's continuing to look fresh. He's continuing to look like he's learning the game still, yet excelling at the things he's learning at. And we couldn't be more happy if we were Philadelphia Eagles fans, man. Sidney Brown also moving real fluid. I think A.J. Brown looks better. You know what I mean? I think Devontae Smith looks better. These guys are at the top of their game. You know what I mean? All pro athletes, and I feel like they can get better. That's how young this core is. And, you know, the clips that the Eagles have been releasing, man, just points to, you know, these guys having one thing in common. It's winning. It's getting that ultimate goal and bringing the Lombardi to the city. So I'm real anxious to see how this season rolls out, man. In other news, you know, our wrecking ball of a defensive end, Haason Reddick, has, you know, a rule change that, you know, in his honor, in his behalf, if you will. So, you know, we all know what happened with the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers. We knocked out every quarterback that they had on the roster. Our defensive line was just dominant. Their game plan was just wild, and we just overpowered their defensive line. Their offensive line. And, you know, we did our thing. We got to the quarterback, and we did what defensive edge rushers are supposed to do. This has started, you know, this broke the levee of tears running from Deebo Samuel and other guys associated with the 49ers in terms of crying and whining. A lot of people thinking that if these guys would have had a quarterback, something magically would have been different. So you know, the 49ers, you know, fought for a rule to have 3 quarterbacks on your roster at all times, you know what I mean, to avoid situations like this. You know what I mean? And they won, of course, because it really doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you why this rule change doesn't matter. Because it's football. A situation like this is going to happen years down the line. Could happen again this year when 2 quarterbacks get knocked out. If you don't have a good second-string quarterback, what the hell is the third-string quarterback going to do? This is a league where the quarterback position is amongst the best in the National Football League. Nobody is really carrying 3 quarterbacks who could win the NFC Championship game. Nobody has 3 quarterbacks good enough on their roster that could win an NFC Championship game. You know what I mean? Maybe they can. Who knows? Maybe they can. But if you are down to your third-string quarterback, it's done either way. It's done either way. You know what I mean? And it's nothing you could do when you down to your third-string quarterback in most cases. So the crying is just, I mean, you just got to chalk that up to the game. It wouldn't have changed the outcome of anything. And it's not going to change the outcome of anything. Because quarterbacks are going to continue to get knocked out the game. And because this is the type of sport we in. You know, what really bothers me about, you know, the offseason and the crying that the 49ers have been doing, it's because they almost crying like we cheated. That's football, bro. People get hurt all the time. That's the nature of the beast. That's the combat sport. That's the violent sport that we've been witnessing and we've been growing up loving. That's what happens in the name of football. So, you know what I mean? Good that the rule got changed. Okay, makes no difference moving forward. You know what I mean? Moving forward, man. A lot of talks have been, spewed about what, DeAndre Hopkins said on the I Am Athlete podcast with his co-host, the female. I'm not really certain about her name at the moment. I will look that up and do my due diligence. But she's apparently a Dallas Cowboys fan. And, they asked DeAndre Hopkins about, the top 5 guys that he would like to play with in the National Football League. He said Josh Allen, number 1. Then he got to Jalen Hurts. Then he said Lamar Jackson. Then he got to, who was after Lamar? Patrick Mahomes. So Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and Justin Herbert was his 5. You know what I mean? But he had to think about 5. When he got to the 5th guy, this is kind of how it went.
That's a good one. That's a good question. Number 5.
Dak Prescott?
I like Dak Prescott.
Any of these young rookie quarterbacks stand out to you?
So after, he kind of, brushes off the notion of even playing with Dak Prescott. It started like a wildfire on Twitter and sports reporting. ESPN, I think, is about to talk about it today, if I'm not mistaken. It started a bit of controversy. Did he throw shade at Dak Prescott? And I just think it's unfair for people to call what he did was throwing shade. You know what I mean? I just don't think it was shade. I mean, at the end of the day, first of all, you ask the man a question. He gives you his 5 quarterbacks. You throw a guy in there that he wasn't even going to mention, and you force an awkward situation. You know what I mean? So if you want to really technically be mad at somebody, be mad at the people that was asking them questions, but how can you even be mad at them? How can you be mad at her? She's a Dallas Cowboys fan. She wanted to know why he wouldn't want to play with her quarterback. You know what I mean? So you really can't be mad at nobody. His preference is his preference. This time last year, Jalen Hurts wouldn't have been in that list. People overlook stuff like that. This time last year, Jalen Hurts would not have been on the top of the list of guys that DeAndre Hopkins was lining up to play with. First of all, DeAndre Hopkins said he didn't even want to play with no young quarterbacks. You know what I mean? During this I Am Athlete interview. Jalen Hurts, 24. You know what I'm saying? So people look at Jalen Hurts differently. You want to know why, ladies and gentlemen? Because Jalen Hurts earned his respect and proved himself. That's why people look at Jalen Hurts differently. He earned his respect and he proved himself. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. You got to do that in this league if you want respect from your peers. You got to do that in this league. You got to. So it was no shade to Dak Prescott. The facts of the matter is this. You got to earn it. That's the key word for this. You got to earn it. You know what I mean? You got to earn it. And I know a lot of Cowboys fans watch my channel. You know what I mean? This is just me being real. All the noise that you don't like about your quarterback, it will stop once your quarterback start doing what he's supposed to do on the football field, and that's winning games. The more you act like your quarterback is not one of the reasons why y'all not winning games, the more you will be laughed at and ridiculed. The more you will be laughed at and ridiculed as a fan base moving forward. So DeAndre Hopkins, I wouldn't want to play with him either. He just led the league in picks after missing 5 games. Let's keep it a stack if we're going to keep it a stack here. Let's keep it a stack. 2 offensive coordinators fired. Never been an all-pro. Let's keep it all the way real here. You know what I mean? He's been there 8 years, 30 years. He's the longest tenured player on the same team in the National Football League. Right now, Aaron Rodgers moved. Carr moved. Dak is now the longest tenured player and has accomplished the least. So I think that, you know what I mean, I think D-Hop is well within his right to say who we want to play with and who we don't want to play with. And I think that the respect that Jalen Hurts and a lot of guys have earned can't be taken away at all, man. So let me know what y'all think in the comments.